Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. We may have a few that continue to join, and that's okay. I apologize for the mix-up in the link, but I think we've got that all taken care of, and we are so glad that you all have joined us today. We are very excited to have you a part of our October webinar with the Kentucky Advising Academy, which is an initiative of the Council on Post-Secondary Education. We are thrilled you decided to join us today and hope you can get some great information that you can put to immediate use. My name is Mitzi Holland, and I am the director of the Kentucky Advising Academy. And today we are joined with several of our regional coordinators, as well as our special guest presenter, Miss Cindy Jolly, who is the district program coordinator for Gear Up Kentucky. And Cindy is going to be sharing with us some wonderful information. We are so happy that she is joining us. But now I'm going to hand it over to Miss Cheryl Brumley, who is one of our regional coordinators, and she is going to be leading our webinar today. So Cheryl, I'll hand it over to you. Cheryl, you're muted.
Well, I was on a roll. I just want to say hello and welcome to everybody. For those of you that have joined us before, you probably know the drill, but if you haven't, we would love to get to know you a little bit. So in the chat, if everyone could please put their name, your organization and title, as well as a little fall debate here. If you could put what your favorite fall flavor is of the two, pumpkin spice or apple cider. I feel like I'm torn on this one because I'm like, when it comes to a drink, I'm apple cider, but when it comes to like a cake or a piece of loaf bread, I want some pumpkin bread. Nice. Thank you guys. Feel free to keep popping in there. Since we have a lot to cover, we're going to go ahead and keep going. We appreciate all of you for taking the time to be with us this morning. Your ELA credit that will be available, we'll tell you how to get that at the end. We're going to give all of that information at the end of our time together. But first, I'd like to go over our agenda for today. So this is going to have a brief introduction to the Kentucky Advising Academy, and then I'm going to turn it over to Cindy, who will give you more information about college and university scholarships. And after that, we're going to have a short breakout session where we're going to share some promising practices around your own scholarship work with students that we'll get to share out and chat about with each other. And then we're going to go over some ways to stay connected, as well as inform you on how to get that ELA credit. So I'd like to start by sharing the purpose of the Kentucky Advising Academy. And then I'll give you some brief information about how we came to be and our structure of services before I turn it over to our presenters today. So you'll see that our purpose here on the slide is that we exist to support school counselors and really all professional educators who find themselves in a post-secondary advising role. This could be teachers, coaches, club sponsors, Frisky coordinators, community partners, really anyone that serves in post-secondary advising for our students. And we really want to expand the idea of who counts as a post-secondary advisor, because we know that one person cannot do it all when it comes to helping students navigate that process. So we help develop professional learning and resources in order to build that knowledge, capacity, and community around post-secondary advising. We were born out of a committee recommendation from the Commonwealth Education Continuum, which is a lot to say, so I'm going to refer to it as CEC from here on out. And the CEC is a joint initiative between Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman, the Education Commissioner, Dr. Jason Glass, and our very own Council for Post-Secondary Education President, Dr. Aaron Thompson. And they put together a group of state-level stakeholders representing P through 20 and on through the workforce to identify any leaks in that P through 20 pipeline. And ultimately, they're taking actionable steps to plug and fill any gaps that they see and navigate those transitions better to help the overall quality of life for Kentucky residents. Our strategic agenda here at CPE and our North Star for KAA is that 60 by 30 initiative or goal. And that means that we want 60% of Kentuckians to have a post-secondary credential by the end of the year 2030. And that includes 2 or 4 year degrees, certification, all of that. And those the CEC subcommittees recognized that need for supporting school counselors and educators with post-secondary advising processes was a big one, and that's where the Kentucky Advising Academy began. So we want our professional learning to accomplish ultimately 3 goals, and that's to help our target audience build post-secondary advising knowledge, capacity, and community. And to accomplish that, we have multiple ways that practitioners can choose to be involved. Monthly, we have our Well Advised podcast. It's a brief podcast covering timely post-secondary advising topics, such as college admissions, financial aid, or like this month, scholarship. Next month, we're going to be talking about military. And we also offer a monthly webinar. You made it here, welcome. And that's always along the same topic as our podcast, but it goes a little bit deeper into more actionable steps and ways to kind of connect with our advising community. Quarterly, we offer a newsletter with post-secondary advising information, not only from us, but also from partner organizations all across Kentucky. And we also host full-day, regionally based in-person professional learning events that began this fall. We're actually a little over halfway through and about to round that out. We'll have more information at the end on how you can join us for that if you'd like to. And last but not least, our in-progress work is a comprehensive online advising toolkit, and that will be shared as information becomes available once that is finished. So to help us do all of this work, because it's a lot of cogs and wheels turning all at the same time, we have the KAA Regional Advising Coordinators, and they help us execute our structure. I, of course, am one of them, and you can see the rest of us on the slide. We are also here in the meeting with you today. And we're just going to keep continuing to do all the work that we're doing to help bring those that access and advocacy and capacity building to you guys all across the state. We certainly would love to have you join us for any or all of these opportunities. So I'll let you know how to stay connected with us at the end of our time together today. So now why we're all here. We're going to talk about scholarships. So today's webinar is brought to you in partnership with Gear Up Kentucky. And today we have District Program Coordinator Cindy Jolly with us. So I'm going to turn it over to her so she can introduce herself and share some great scholarship information with you today. So Cindy, good Lord, feel free to take it away.
So hello, everyone, and good morning. I am with Gear Up Kentucky. I am out of Fleming County, and I am the district program coordinator. So not only do I have responsibilities here in my Fleming County district, but I also coordinate along with many other people on my crew, the summer academies that we host each summer. So I was asked to talk about scholarships. It's one of the big things at my school, and so I hope you find this information very helpful that you can take back with you. So first, what are scholarships? And I know the majority of us on this meeting this morning, we know what scholarships are, but for our students, their parents, guardians, grandparents, they may not know what scholarships are. And I get this question a lot each year from all of those people. They think they have to pay them back. And so we need to be very vigilant that we let them know that scholarships do not have to be paid back. They're unlike a loan, right? We have to pay those back. Scholarships do not have to be repaid so long as the requirements for receiving those are met. And we need to make that very clear to our audience. So one more time, scholarships do not have to be repaid as long as the requirements for receiving those scholarships are met. So students, parents, guardians, know that the majority of scholarships hold conditions. So an example of that, you may not be able to withdraw from a class or from school, right? And still receive your scholarship. There are many conditions that go along with scholarships. Students need to be aware of those. Maintaining a certain GPA, attendance at school. So those are some of the conditions that need to be brought awareness to when each individual scholarship is awarded. So it's important for advisors, students, their parents and guardians to know the varying types of scholarships available and where they can be found. So let's just dive right into that. Some types of scholarships, you'll have university, local, national scholarships. So let's just start by talking about some of the university scholarships. We get into the merit scholarships. Merit scholarships are unlike needs-based scholarships. Need-based scholarships are based on financial need. Merit scholarships are awarded to students who excel in certain areas. And these can range from, but they're definitely not limited to, academics, athletics, arts, special interest. A lot of the times, merit scholarships are associated with just academics. And we need to let our students and our audience know that there are other aspects that are looked at for merit scholarships. Colleges and universities may also offer automatic scholarships or auto scholarships, as we sometimes call those. This is where the student is automatically enrolled for a scholarship or scholarships for which they qualify as part of their college application. I love these type of scholarships. So we will have students come to us and they're looking at a particular college or university and they're like, I need to apply for this scholarship. I don't know how. If you're working with your college and university, with the financial aid department, with your college recruiter, they can let you know which of these scholarships are automatic with the application for your students. Then you can let your students know, don't stress over this one. This is along with your application. So those are very important to students and parents and guardians. So they can look very different at each college and university. We all know that the ones of us who work with college and universities almost on a daily basis, each college and university is very different. So are their scholarships. This type of scholarship may be contributions to the college or university. It can come from individuals, families, businesses, organizations, groups. This type of scholarship is usually specific for a department. So for example, you may have the additional scholarships may be specific for a student going into nursing. And it can be as specific as a first-year nursing student or a second-year nursing student or a nursing student in their senior year. So those additional scholarships, every college and university that I work with offer these, but you have to go look for them. Go to the website of the college or university for which you are interested. Go to their search bar and simply type in scholarships. You're going to have a wealth of information come at you all at once. Those departmental, which we also call the additional scholarships sometimes, most all colleges and universities have those for departments, whether it's ag, nursing, arts, whatever the circumstance. Most colleges and universities have additional scholarships for students to apply. So on the types of scholarships, you have besides your universities, you have local and national scholarships. Your local and national scholarships each have their own application criteria that might differ from the college and university applications. And I'm just going to say they are going to differ from that college or university application that those students are going to fill out. local businesses, alumni associations, or online searchers are great places to start looking for both the local and the national. Many times it's overlooked at a local level. If a student is working part-time or full-time, sometimes if there's like some of my students, that place that they are employed may offer a scholarship. They've just never been asked to offer a scholarship before. So asking may generate that student a scholarship. Of course, we know, our larger entities that, fast food chains offer a lot of scholarships for students who are working there part-time while in school. So keep that in mind. These scholarships can often be stacked. So when we say stacked, that means you're getting a scholarship from a university, maybe several additional scholarships from that university within that department that you're going into. And then you look at your local and you can stack that money on top. If you've applied for national, which most of the time we find those online, you can stack those on top. You must work very closely with your college or university to see what will stack, because a lot of times merit scholarships do not stack on top of each other. So if you have a student and they are receiving merit scholarships, and so they've qualified for 4 from a particular university, they're probably not going to get all 4 of those. They're going to have to decide, working with an advisor, which of that scholarship best fits their needs, and then stack the others on top of that to help with the financial burden. So where are we going to look for these scholarships? University institutions, as we've already mentioned, have websites. Go to the website, type in scholarship, and it's going to magically appear all kinds of scholarship opportunities for that student. Parent, student employers, local businesses, we've touched on that some as well, normally will offer a small scholarship. Sometimes they just have to be asked and known that it's a need. And most of the local employers are more than happy to help out. Check with your local, especially larger businesses, but also don't forget your smaller businesses within your community. Those people are there and they want to help the youth in the community. So don't forget those smaller businesses when seeking scholarships on a local level for your students. And you may be surprised at some of the amounts that these local places will offer you if you just ask them. All you can be is told no, right? It's okay. We've all been told no before, but at least ask. It might be a yes. So when do we apply for scholarships? Our university scholarships, usually in the fall, early spring. Check with your university. They will have their deadlines posted on their website for you. What I do in Fleming County is I create a small PowerPoint that I send out to all the students, their parents, guardians, and I list all of the colleges, universities that the majority of our students attend for our area. And I place on there, in order to receive a scholarship, do they need to fill out a FAFSA? I can tell you that it's an overwhelming yes. So try to tie in your scholarships with other events that's going on, such as that FAFSA frenzy that's going on, and let them know, even if they think they're not going to qualify for FAFSA assistance, that most of these scholarships at college and universities require that be on file in order to receive scholarships from the university. Your local scholarships usually come out in the spring. I know ours come out usually in February. So check, keep an eye on that. I keep it posted for my students We have an online account on our Fleming County High School website that is specifically for scholarships. And as those scholarships become available, we post them with the closing date. Your national scholarships are going to have varying days and deadlines and how to apply. Again, the student, parent, guardian, if they need assistance, we are always more than happy to help, but those are going to have different dates that they need to be completed. So important to remember, students can stack scholarships. Combining their university, their employer, their local, national scholarships can all work together to lower the expense. However, they must check with that college or university and see what will stack. Because I've had students, and we've all had students in the past, that a college comes in, a university comes in, and it says, this is what we're going to offer you. And it'll have maybe 3 or 4 different merit scholarships on there, but they can only choose one. They don't see that. They just see the dollar amount over to the side, and they're thinking, I'm going to get all this money. No, you have to choose one of them. So work with your college or university to see how many merit scholarships that university is going to allow them to use, and then how they can stack those local and national and additional scholarships from the university onto that. Please remember and keep in mind to let your students know they don't have to be 4.0 students to apply for a scholarship. Many scholarships are geared toward other GPAs other than a 4.0. We would love if all of our students had 4.0. That would be wonderful. But the people creating the scholarships realize that this is not always true. And so there are scholarships geared for students other than 4.0 students. I think we have the thought process, not only with our students, but with their parents, guardians, grandparents, that, oh, I'm just not going to apply because I won't get it because this person has a 4.0 and I don't. And we need to get away from that, because many scholarships go to students who don't always have a 4.0. So we need to let our audience know, still apply for those. Okay, so how do we reach the students in their quest to apply for scholarships? So a quick little background on me and Fleming County. We struggled, like most, I think, school districts struggle on getting students, all students, and we just talked about that, all students to apply for scholarships. And the stereotype we have with, I have to be a perfect 4.0 or above to get these. And so we would have very few students apply for scholarships. And as I said, last year we gave away over $1 million in Fleming County. And there was so much money for students, and students weren't always applying for it. So how can we reach our audience? How can we let people know what's going on? So I try to be very proactive in my community. And I was at a local Rotary Club speaking to them about things I was doing in Fleming County with Gear Up and what was going on with the state with Gear Up. And we were talking about college application week, and we were talking about a college and career fair. And one of the members of the Rotary Club said, hey, did I miss your scholarship night? What? Scholarship night? I didn't even think about that. That's a great idea. I would have never gotten that had I not been out in the community, letting people know what was going on with Gear Up. So I look at them and I go, we've never had a scholarship night. Let's do it. So last year we thought, let's do this scholarship night. How are we going to let parents and grandparents and all these people know? Social media is great. Some people look at social media, but if it's not right there in their face right then when they're scrolling through, they may only see it once. Then what? So we had some postcards, and I thought, what if we just send every senior parent and guardian a postcard with a little note on the back that said, scholarship night. There'll be 42 different local scholarship people here that evening to talk to. And we just sent it in the mail, not knowing what was going to happen. Well, that night came, and my local scholarship people were all set up here at school. And we had parents, guardians, aunts, uncles, grandparents, just people in the community who wanted to just come, lined up from our school lobby, out the door, down the sidewalk, all the way into the parking lot. And I looked at our principal and I was like, what has happened? What happened? How did this happen? And so as they started coming through and they were registering, I was like, how did you all know to come tonight? They were like, the postcards. We got a postcard inviting us. And so I think it just hit us. And for all the years that we've done this, and we've tried we've tried food, food brings people into meetings, right? It was just a simple little postcard with the back of it printed, scholarship night, about how much money was going to be awarded that year. They could come in, they could talk to the people offering the locals, and sometimes not local. We had some universities here as well, how to apply for their scholarship, what it was, if it was a memorial, what did that mean? Who was that person they were giving the money in memory of? And we were here till hours after what we were going to close the meeting down. Already this year have parents asking when our scholarship night is going to be. So you have to know your community, know your students, know the culture you're coming from. But lesson learned for me, as many years as I've done this, yes, we still put it on social media. We had it on the radio. We had it in the newspaper. But what did my community tell me? They like the postcards. It's easy to read. It's not stuffed in an envelope where they can just toss it away. It's right there in front of them. They can put it on the refrigerator and remember the date and the time. So I hope you may take that and see if it works in your community as well. It worked really well for us. Are there any questions for me? I don't want to overgo on my time. Are there any questions I would love to answer, or you can reach out to me if you think of something after this meeting. I'm always happy to talk to people and bounce ideas off, and I may learn something from you like I did the Rotary Club last year.
All right. Thank you so much, Cindy. So we're going to switch over to our breakout rooms. Hopefully we have some of those good ideas percolating now. And you're going to be automatically sent into a breakout room. We have 3 of them. You're going to spend about 15 minutes there getting to chat a little bit with each other. And while you're going to get to answer each of these 3 questions, we would like for you to, at the beginning, pick a reporter. That way when we all come back and convene at the end, your group's reporter can kind of share out one really notable comment or wondering from your breakout room. And we're going to ask that breakout room 1 will report on question 1, 2 on question 2, and 3 on question 3. And like I said, you'll have 15 minutes to do that. So I will see you back here in 15.
I don't know when I get my shoes and call. Okay. Okay. Oh, you're fine.
like every time you click on something on Zoom to unmute myself, it doesn't want to let me switch the tabs. Then when I click back over to the tab, it switches the slide. So let's share out real quick on some of those discussions that happened in the breakout rooms. I feel like we, from our group, probably could have gone on for another 10 minutes because we didn't even get to our third question. So if we can start with breakout room 1 and question 1, which was, how do you gather information about and communicate the scholarship opportunities available to your students?
Okay, some of the things that we came up with was local scholarships. They're different than like the dual credit ones. The scholarships, they're shared on the school website, blog, emails, and or text. Another ideal was meet with senior advisory classes and share a printed packet of the information for parents and where to look, as well as a list of available scholarships. Parents, they're overwhelmed. They get a lot of stuff, especially if you have more than one child in school. You're getting a lot of information, a lot of stuff. So there's so many different medias. There's so many different outlets for them to get information from. Let's see. Social media was another one. And if I forgot, I don't think I got the last one posted. If someone else.
Oh, that's fine. I think you covered most of it. There was a lot of talk about the electronic versus like paper sharing and making sure like just public spaces. So the second question, what challenges deter students from applying for scholarships and how are you overcoming those challenges? Can someone from breakout room 2 please share?
We had that students, many of the things that Cindy said, that students think they have to have a 4.0 or great grades in order to qualify. We talked about ways to overcome that. Was some schools do a scholarship week in order to inform the students, just making sure they have the factual information as far as what actually is and is not required, putting scholarship lists online so that they're just simply aware of what scholarships are available. Some of the other challenges include having to write an essay. So students sometimes will skip the scholarships simply because they don't want to write the essay. Ways that have been to overcome that is to link with the school's English department or English teacher to try to make the essay a part of an assignment that's actually graded. So the student is getting, dual, they're getting classwork for it, but then also getting having what they need for their scholarship. And then the ACT scores can also deter them from applying, similar to the grade point average. Although many colleges have gone test optional, there are many scholarships that still require that grade point or that ACT score, so that is a deterrent of students to apply.
Yeah. And those are all big ones, but encourage them to shoot their shot is the most important. Okay, so last breakout room 3, which was what resources, events, or supports do you utilize to assist with scholarship application completion? Is there someone from breakout room 3 that will share for us?
So we had quite a bit, so it was good. We all talked about, was one county, I think it may have been Trimble, that their local scholarships, their local agencies came together and created one form for students to fill out. And then they can just fill that out for that and then turn it into wherever they want for local scholarships. So that kind of streamlines some paperwork. There was someone, they meet monthly with their seniors to talk about scholarships, even if it's in small groups or individually. It was mentioned the same thing, roping in the English department to write essays and brag sheets for themselves to kind of give them that base to work on filling out their scholarship applications. We mentioned doing FAFSA nights, sharing information with parents and students on social media. So whether that's Facebook or doing types of one messages, so like all messages, all calls to like all students, all parents. They also mentioned there were a few counties that came together And in their specific area, it's called Future 42, but it's because they're all settled down this one road or area. And it's a bunch of industries that are on there. So they bring in speakers from those businesses and from those industries to talk to the students, and they rope them in to maybe looking at financing some local scholarships for these students that are working towards those careers and things. And then also looking for scholarships that specify for technical schools or technical programs like linemen or diesel mechanics and things like that.
Very cool. Well, thank you everyone for sharing. We are sadly nearing the end of our time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I'd like to encourage everyone to stay connected with the Kentucky Advising Academy. We've really enjoyed having you all here today. Our November webinar is going to be here before we know it. I'm actually also getting married that week, so it's exciting times over with the KAA people right now. So we'd love for you to join us there. Feel free to use the QR code here if you'd like to register for that now. We also have links for all of these things I'm about to discuss being dropped in our chat. Coming soon, or maybe have already came to a region near you, is our multi-meeting professional learning series. Is tailored for school counselors, administrators, Frisky coordinators, all of those like post-secondary advising people that help our students. And this first session of learning, it's focusing on strengthening the advising process to support students with their post-secondary transitions. And our participants, we're encouraging them to bring colleagues who are part of the advising process to consider innovative ways to support all students. And ELA and Frisky training credit is available for that as well. The link again to register is being placed in the, I almost said the bio. You can tell I do social media too much, in the chat. If you see that schedule on here, we are actually through over half of them. And I believe GREC is sold out, which is very exciting. But KVEC and SCSC, those are still in the future if you'd like to join us at either one of those. We also have our website. This is where you can subscribe to all of our communications and consistently be updated on everything we offer, our podcasts, webinars, newsletters, and in-person events. It's kind of like a one-stop landing page. And you're also welcome to follow us on any of our social media accounts at Advising Kentucky. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're also on YouTube, where we post these webinars once they're completed for you to go back and reference or to share with anyone. Or if you happen to miss a month, you'll be able to catch it there. And you can also just find us on YouTube by searching the Kentucky Advising Academy. For your ELA credit, if you would please scan the QR code, or you can use the URLs there on the screen. It's going to send you to a Google form, and if you fill that out, that is how we will know that you would like to receive ELA credit for today. And we'll be following up with that either later today or tomorrow. You'll receive that certificate. So feel free to snap a picture, whatever you need to do before we leave the meeting today. And that is all we have for you. We hope to see you at future events. And thank you all so much for your participation. And we hope you have a really wonderful, wonderful day.